Is the recent California's wildfires merely a coincidence? Our feature today, The Great Fire in the End Times. Grace and peace, everyone. The Great Fire in Los Angeles, California in January 2025. We can also see from the news that it caused great damage. It can be said to be the largest fire in California history. Whether natural or man-made, we will first state the conclusion. In the last days, this will not be an isolated case. There will be more to come. What does the Bible say? And what do these things have to do with me? First, we will look at this drought distribution map. The darker the color, the drier it is, and California is located about here. From the map, we can know that California is dry, but it is not the driest region. Is this a natural disaster, or is it a man-made disaster? Because forests are flammable, there are wildfires. Usually, they can be put out, but this time, it could not be put out. Firefighters had no water to use. In a place that is not the driest region, there was the largest fire. This suggests there were also man-made factors. I found some information online, and it is astonishing and hard to believe. In order to protect the capelin, a common fish species also known as the smelt, the governor of California invoked environmental protection as the rationale to divert water flowing from the north into the Pacific Ocean, thereby wasting a precious resource. Many frontline firefighters raised concerns, but they were ignored. So when the fire came, the water tanks had no water to use. Is environmental protection more important, or are people more important? We keep pets at home. For example, a dog. We would say the dog is like a member of our family. I also like dogs very much, and I have raised several dogs. We had a very good bond. But we must note one thing. Between your dog and your son's life, which one is more important? Once a Buddhist talked with me about truth and life. He said all living beings are equal. I responded directly, your dog and your son, if you must choose one, which would you choose? Then he walked away without saying a word. Brothers and sisters, is environmental protection more important, or are people more important? Of course, people are more important. People are more important than everything in this world. And some so-called environmental activists today even use nudity or unusual protests to express the protection of animals. This is absolutely not pleasing to God. Whether it is a common smelt or an endangered animal, people are more important. You can also find online that Trump, as president at the time, directly asked the governor of California why there was no water available. Yet things continued as before, leading to today's disaster. There are natural disasters, and there are also man-made disasters. Was it intentional or unprofessional, or was there some other reason? Some things in this world seem trendy, but brothers and sisters, please see clearly and understand clearly. The people God created bear the image of God, and that is most important. Let us read a passage of Scripture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. The thief refers to fallen angels and fallen people. Fallen angels and people seek to steal, kill, and destroy people. But Jesus came to save, to give people life, and to give it more abundantly. When we have doubts about human factors, when questions arise, some people label you and say it is a conspiracy theory. Think about it. Are there schemes in our workplaces? Of course there are. People make plans. Are there schemes in our lives? Wherever there are evil people, there can be schemes. Regarding conspiracy theories, we should not be controlled by them so that we become extreme in support or in opposition. Once there was a brother with whom I had a good relationship. He returned from studying in the United States. He told me the earth is flat. He also shared a lot of supporting materials with me. I am a cautious person. When I make a conclusion, I collect information for a long time. I study it for a long time. During that week, I even wondered whether the earth might be flat. After about a week of research, I still came to the conclusion that the earth is round. So I told him as well. In those conspiracy claims, they say the earth is flat, and that the earth being round is a conspiracy. They also talk about aliens and things that have not been verified. Some are true and some are false. We should not dismiss everything because of the person. That is, when you hear conspiracy theories, you might think, how could that be? It is impossible. It is only a simple natural disaster. But do not go to the other extreme, doubting everything. In short, many things can happen. We must verify with evidence. We compare and examine. Looking at California's geography, its natural environment is not the driest, yet it had such a massive fire. There were indeed human factors. And the purpose of the thief is to steal, kill, and destroy. Once human life is stolen, killed, and destroyed, they are very pleased. So who causes the disasters in the last days? We should say this: God loosens his protecting hand so that what he sustains, the whole creation, falls into disorder, and the enemy, Satan, can work. So, regardless of whether it is called a conspiracy theory, where there is a thief, there can be schemes. We must find answers from the Bible. Do you believe that 1/3 of the trees on earth will be burned? In the last days, 1/3 of the trees is a very large portion. Let us look at Revelation. The first angel sounded his trumpet, and there came hail and fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down on the earth. 1/3 of the earth was burned up, 1/3 of the trees were burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. Brothers and sisters in the church may remember that I mentioned this in my sermons in recent years. So the fires in California today should not be a surprise. The Bible has already said this. 1/3 of the earth and 1/3 of the trees will be burned in the last days. And the book of Joel also says, I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and billows of smoke. Therefore, we reach this conclusion. The California fires will not be an isolated case. There have already been many in recent years, and there will be more in the future, because these are signs of the end times. We will review in Revelation the 7 seals, the 7 trumpets, and the 7 bowls. The 7 seals concern human sin. The 7 trumpets show the earth under curse. The 7 bowls show wrath from heaven. The 7 seals are the main framework: the white horse, the red horse, the black horse, the pale horse, who is harmed, how the wicked respond, and what comes next. And the pattern keeps repeating: earth, sea, rivers, sun, moon, stars, who is harmed, how the wicked respond, and what comes next. The 7 seals, the 7 trumpets, and the 7 bowls. And what we said about 1/3 of the earth being burned is at the beginning of the 7 trumpets. 1/3 of the earth and 1/3 of the trees are burned. So we must consider what stage we are in now. In my personal judgment, the 5th seal has already been opened, and it continues to intensify. The white horse, the red horse, the black horse, the pale horse, and the persecution of the righteous. When the 6th seal comes, the wicked will hide in caves and say, fall on us. Who can withstand the wrath of the Lamb? We have not reached the 6th seal, but I believe the first 5 seals are already happening. And as for 1/3 of the trees being burned, it is not yet at that scale, but it is in progress. So we must think about why. Wildfires on Earth have been very frequent in recent years. They keep happening. Because they are so frequent, they are not treated as special news. If we look at the news from many countries, for example in Japan and around the world, wildfires have doubled in the last 20 years. This is affected by climate warming. So we need to consider what causes the warming climate so that the earth burns so easily. If it were only arson, it could not cover such a large area. If it were only natural wildfires, it would not cause such great damage. Depending on different situations, all of these can be possible. First, we will look at fire in three levels: spirit, soul, and body. The first level is physical fire, material fire. The second is the fire of human thought, emotion, and will. The third level is God's eternity and love, the fire of the Spirit. Regarding physical fire, it is matter burning. Yes, matter is burning. The whole earth, the whole world, is moving toward burning. You and I will be affected. The second stage is the burning of the human heart. When outward matter is burning, we must see the essence through the phenomena. We must see the inside through the outside. We must see eternity through this life. Is the human heart being burned? The righteous will be burned. The wicked will also be burned. The burning of the righteous is to make them more precious and to burn away impurities. The burning of the wicked is to press you to choose whether to walk the righteous path. The highest level is the burning of the soul. When the soul is burned, this is eternity. In eternity, the righteous are refined and receive honor, and they receive heavenly crowns, but sinners in eternity are not alive, but dead. What they bear is eternal death. This is the burning of the soul. Regarding the causes of climate warming, we will analyze here. There are three possibilities. The first is carbon dioxide emissions. Television and many media report it this way. We return to the basic knowledge we learned in elementary school. People breathe oxygen in the air and exhale carbon dioxide. And plants use this carbon dioxide for photosynthesis and release oxygen again. This is a cycle. And some scientists have charted the temperature changes of the Earth over thousands of years. Sometimes higher, sometimes lower, higher, again, lower, again. It seems like a pattern. But in reality, this pattern has nothing to do with the concentration of carbon dioxide on Earth. In the chart at the lower right, red is temperature and the green is carbon dioxide concentration. And the television and the media we see every day keep telling us that carbon dioxide causes global warming. We must be clear-minded. Carbon dioxide is not the cause of global warming. Because with carbon dioxide as the cause, the issue of carbon emissions arises, so that countries must buy carbon allowances, which increases people's burdens. Do you remember? The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. The higher your inflation, the heavier your burden, the happier the thief. So we must be clear-minded and not follow the crowd. Carbon dioxide emissions are not the cause of climate warming. The second is the activity of sunspots. We know the sun produces countless eruptions. When sunspots are active, its eruptions and burning become more intense, and this affects the Earth. Scientists have already made charts showing the sun's activity and its impact on Earth's temperature. We can see a positive correlation. Around the year 2000, a film was released called An Inconvenient Truth. It spoke about the effects of carbon dioxide. Some people proposed sunspots instead, and they were quickly suppressed. We should pay attention to sunspot activity and Earth's temperature because there is a clear influence. In my inner conviction, this has spiritual meaning. Because the Earth represents the world, the sun represents God, and the moon represents the church shining in darkness. When God's burning wrath rises, the earth will be burned. We mentioned earlier the meaning of the three levels, and in fact, science also confirms this way. Sunspot activity has a clear impact on Earth's temperature. The third cause of climate change is not only warming. Have you noticed some very hot places become cold and some desert regions have water? This is a strange phenomenon. So the third is magnetic pole reversal. Recent update says scientists have calculated that the Earth's magnetic field is weakening. It has weakened by about 15 to 20%. When it weakens to a certain level, the south becomes the north, and the north becomes the south. If you are hearing this for the first time, you may feel alarmed, but this is a fact. We also often see news that some migratory birds while flying suddenly become disoriented. They navigate through the Earth's magnetic field. When the Earth has a stable magnetic field, this field outside the Earth forms a protective layer so that the heat from the sun, the solar wind, is blocked by this protective layer. When the magnetic poles reverse, this protective layer enters a weakened state for a period of time. So the solar wind and the sun's heat have a greater effect on the Earth. There are many videos online about the reversal of magnetic poles and the end of the world. These are videos made by unbelievers, but they have scientific basis. Regarding the end of the world, we must look to the Bible. Then we know sunspots and magnetic pole reversal have huge impacts on climate, and science can verify it. But this world is very chaotic and is fixated on carbon dioxide. Brothers and sisters, if you had mistaken ideas in the past, please change them now. Do not only watch television, think and verify. Even whether the earth is round, I have verified. Regarding sunspots and magnetic pole reversal, I have also verified over many years. It is indeed so. You can also find much information online. We must know that God's intention is not to destroy the world. This world has many people whom God values. God's purpose is to save as many people as possible. So when He loosens His protecting hand, the earth produces many disasters, and the key is whether we will quickly enter the ark. The last destruction was by flood because of human sin. This time, the destruction is by fire. Whether natural fire or man-made fire, even nuclear weapons, the current stockpile of nuclear weapons can destroy the earth many times over. That day will come. So before it comes, we must think deeply. See the essence through the phenomena. See the inside through the outside. See eternity through this life. We now come to the conclusion. The great fires in the end times. The California fires will not be an isolated case. In the end times, there will be more and more. Some are natural, some are man-made. They will increase and be mixed together. The two main causes of climate change are sunspots and magnetic pole reversal. Sunspots have symbolic meaning coming from God. Magnetic pole reversal is the magnetism of the earth. God created man upright, but man committed many sins, and there is such a reversal. One comes from God, and one comes from the earth. Sunspots and magnetic pole reversal, scientifically and spiritually, both are meaningful, but people are entangled in carbon dioxide, so do not only watch television. Be clear-minded. Let us look at Scripture. But the day of the Lord will come like a thief. The day of the Lord is the day of the Lord's return, and also the many things that will happen before that day comes. Regarding the earth, the heavens will disappear with a roar. The elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth and everything done in it will be laid bare. This is about the earth, this world. Regarding people, their work will be shown for what it is, because the day will bring it to light. It will be revealed with fire, and the fire will test the quality of each person's work. This refers to believers, the children of God, the righteous in Christ. God will test us. After being saved, have you overcome? All that you have said and done, God uses His heavenly fire to refine each of us. If it is gold, silver, or precious stones, it will remain. If it is wood, hay, or straw, it will be burned up. And what remains shows what each person's work was like. Will one receive a crown or receive rebuke? This is the fire concerning people. And the wicked are also the same. Whether in this life or in eternity, there is fire in this life that presses us to seek whether there is salvation. In eternity there is fire, because there is judgment. So in this life, we must make the decision, will we follow the light, or will we follow darkness? This is the fire concerning people. And there is also fire concerning the enemy. The enemy has fire as well. the beast was thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur. We know in the last days we wait for Christ, and there is a counterfeit, the Antichrist. This counterfeit Trinity, this beast, will be thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur. So we know concerning the earth, concerning people, and concerning the enemy, there is great fire. Today's feature topic, the great fire in the end times. Hope dwells within our hearts, leaving no room for despair because we walk the heavenly path. When these things begin to take place, stand up and lift up your heads because your redemption is drawing near. Blessed is the one whose delight is in the law of the Lord and who meditates on his law day and night. Fine food, 7 minutes. See you tomorrow.